Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. I am your host, Lewis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling.
And I'm Jay, the Whiz Kid of Pro Wrestling.
Hey, what an introduction. Fans, you are in for a treat.
Yes.
Today, we make history. This is the first time ever Evolution of Pro Wrestling has ever contested in doing this type of scenario. Evolution of Pro Wrestling presents our inter-promotional 16-man two-part event. As you can see, we have our bracket and we have the Wheel of Evolution. 10 stipulations, all these matches, one bracket, each bracket. You never know where the wheel's going to land. You never know where it's going to get. This is interesting. And then, to make it even more controversial, we will be bringing on the show Ricans of Wrestling's own Mr. Jose G. He is going to be joining us. We are just waiting for him to come in into the segment pretty soon. We are waiting.
Yes, we are.
And he is here. So let's bring him in because I know he is ready to go. Jaden, this is amazing. The Wheel of Evolution. 10 stipulations. Here he is. It's the Jose G himself.
What up, broskies? How y'all doing? What's
How you
going
doing,
on?
man? How you doing?
Doing
We're
good,
glad
man.
you can join us. We're glad you can join us. As
You
you
know
can
how
see,
it is?
The Wheel of Evolution doesn't get any better than that. 10 stipulations.
That looks good.
Oh, thank you. 4 matches in the first bracket. Another 2 matches and the final match. Bro, tell me, what do you think of this entire tournament full of superstars right now?
It's very intriguing. Like I don't know, like how do you have that much time to sit around and be like, damn, this match will be good with this guy and this match will be good. like I'm so busy in my day that I don't know how you actually plan that out. So I'm very interested to see how this all pans out and how it all finishes up on the bracket and see how it looks because it's a very intriguing concept. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, this guy has a lot of time on his hands.
Well, it's it's called being a mark, as they say. We try to make it what's best for the fans. You of all people, who which by the way, we would like Evolution of Pro Wrestling would like to congratulate Jose on his Sports Keto video that got over 66,000 viewers.
Thanks,
The man,
man.
that's unheard of. Those numbers are unheard of. So we want to congratulate on you for that. So
Thank
big
you.
up
Thank you.
for that, man.
Thank you,
But yeah, we try to go as hard as we can. Like
Exactly. We always gotta try to be ahead of the game. We feel like something's not going right. We feel like we're messing up on something. We always try to make it better. And we're making history with this tournament right here, and this is our first time thing. We've never done this ever, so it's not just crazy. It's gonna be fun because this is the first time that this has ever been done on Evolution of Pro Wrestling.
Exactly. So
Well,
we're definitely
I'm hyped up. Let's do it, bro. Let's do
all
it.
right. So we got the first match: Sting versus the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Now here comes the Wheel of Evolution. Jaden, you will have the pleasure of spinning the first wheel. Let's see what stipulation this match will be.
And if you guys are just joining us, by the way, to all the viewers, please share tonight's show. It's very important that you guys share tonight's show so we can get some engagement, some comments, some reactions to these to these crazy brackets that we got going on with these stipulations. So, guys, share tonight's video. That's what I'm doing right now. Make sure you do that. Show the love. Make sure you comment. Make sure you guys interact with us because that's how we get the viewers. So, yeah.
No, we appreciate that, Jose. Thank you. You beat us to the punch. I'm glad you said that. The Wheel of Evolution has landed on a strap match.
Oh, all right. Let me see that. You got to put that close up to the camera because I got to be able to see that.
Look at that.
I don't know if you're cheating me or not. Strap match. Okay, it's backwards. Oh, because you got the front camera. I got it.
So, Jose, Give us your scenario, how this rivalry would begin to get to this strap match. And then give us your pick for the win.
Oh, dude, this is like a classic. Right now, this actually fits perfectly in Bray Wyatt's arsenal because ever since the Fiend started last year, he's been taking out legends. He's been taking out people that's been established. So seeing the Fiend and Sting potentially go up and then culminating in a strap match, actually, I don't even, the Wheel of Evolution decided that it was going to be a strap match. But in all reality, we all know that the Fiend will squash Sting in this. Just the Fiend will definitely squash Sting. He squashed everyone ahead of him,
That's
except Braun Strowman and and Goldberg. Those little minute little things. But when it comes to Sting, like if we're talking right now, dude, Bray Wyatt will definitely squash Sting in my opinion. Now, if we're talking about Sting in his prime, NWO Wolfpack,
Well, that's
that.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like Sting has taken on the best of them. He's taken on Vader. He's taken on Ric Flair, Cactus Jack, Lex Luger. The list goes on and on. But you kind of have a point that the Fiend was built for this type of match.
and the Fiend. It's not even the fact that the Fiend was built for this type of match. The Fiend doesn't just squash people. The Fiend is a guy for mind games. So if the Fiend wants to get your attention, Firefly Funhouse, and he doesn't reference himself as the Fiend, he calls the Fiend him or he. So that's where the mind games come into play. So most likely, Bray Wyatt will mess with Sting's past. Back when Sting was colorful paint, and Sting would be Crow Sting, but Sting where he doesn't say anything,
Okay.
and then that's
So
where that will all take place.
in this type of match, Jose, who would you pick to win this match?
Oh, Bray Wyatt, hands down,
Okay.
dude. Bray
Me
Wyatt.
too.
There's no,
Okay.
there's no world where Bray Wyatt doesn't win this match, especially with all the Firefly Funhouse things that he has going on right now. I can only imagine having Sting in the Firefly Funhouse and just freaking the hell out, or maybe even probably becoming a part of it. Who knows? But just being able to kind of picture that and see that, I'm like, damn, that would probably be pretty badass. But yeah, the Fiend.
Me too.
Okay.
I go with the Fiend.
Okay. So let's see what the fans say. We got 2 votes for the Fiend. Let's see what everybody else said. So let's read a comment that Wayne had mentioned. He said he would prefer a no holds barred match with these two. So which would be a hell of a match, but like you said, Bray Wyatt also will probably squash him in that match because
But the Wheel of Evolution did not
that's what I'm
decide it was
saying.
going to be a
It
no
didn't
holds
test
barred
before.
match.
So that's why it's the Wheel of Evolution. You never know where it's gonna go. So
See now, I feel like if that was to land on a no holds barred, the Fiend is built for those type of matches. Not even because of his body size, but if you look at the match that him and Seth Rollins had in that Hell in a Cell, he got a hammer hit to his head, and he just got right back up and stuck his fingers in Seth Rollins' mouth, and then it just completely went gone. He completely vanished. So
Okay.
for a guy to do that's crazy. So the Fiend will take that.
Okay, so there's an interesting comment with Christopher Brown, fellow fan of ours, and as well as Weekends of Wrestling, big fan. He says, "What would you say by adding a special referee to that match?"
Who would it be though?
That's the thing. That's
The
the
wheel,
question.
the wheel did not decide on a special referee. Okay,
And he's right.
we can't,
He's right.
we
The
can't
wheel did not
listen. We
decide.
can't let these marks decide.
See, but
We can't let these people
this is why-
decide.
This is why we got Jose. He's keeping it neutral. He's keeping it real.
Listen,
Luis Cedeno, we got a fellow colleague Luis Cedeno, who we are working with in EGCW Extreme Global Championship Wrestling, who will be commentating. So welcome aboard, sir. We appreciate it. Jose, you're absolutely right. The evolution of
Yeah,
the
Wheel of Evolution decided their fate. Okay,
all right.
I love our viewers, but guys, don't change it. Don't change it. Give us the intake on what landed, and that's
Exactly.
it. But
Okay.
what if it was a no holds barred match? Or what was if it was a chair match? No, the Wheel of Evolution decided what it was going to be.
Right.
All right. So there he is. The Fiend advances to the next round in this interpromotional tournament.
Ooh, the
So is
Fiend.
he in the semifinal of
Yes,
that
he
of
made it to the
is this
semifinal.
is this bracket A or bracket B?
This is bracket A.
Okay, got it.
All right, so Jaden, the next match is Chris Jericho against Seth
Seth
Rollins.
freaking Rollins.
Ooh.
Two great technicians, two excellent
Mm.
generals in the ring, extraordinary talent. But let's see what the Wheel of Evolution has to say. And here we go. An Extreme Rules
Ooh.
match.
Wow.
Damn. Hell yeah.
Okay,
Woo!
Hell
Jaden,
yeah.
I'm going to shoot this off to you first, and I want to hear what Jose has to say.
All right. Well, first things first. I'm sorry, I'm not throwing shade or nothing at Chris Jericho. He's a great wrestler, but I'm taking Seth Rollins on the way on this because Seth Rollins, he's not one of those type of wrestlers that he has a plan. He gets crafty in the ring. If Seth Rollins needs to do something, Seth Rollins gets it done. And Seth Rollins has his fair shares of tables matches, TLC matches, when he was along with the Shield and when he was solo. So I feel like Seth Rollins has a feel of that, and so does Chris Jericho. But like I said, I'm still taking Seth Rollins for this. Seth
Okay,
Rollins for
okay. We got Christopher Brown that says Chris Jericho. Jose, what is your take on this, man? Extreme Rules, Chris Jericho, Seth freaking Rollins, the Ayatollah of rock and roller. Like, what do you think about this?
Dude, this is a pretty badass matchup. I saw that matchup, I was like, damn, that would be pretty badass. I'm sure they probably faced each other when Jericho was still in WWE, but not to the to the elevated point they both are in their careers right now. With that being said, dude, that's a really hard pick. I'd probably pick Seth Rollins to go over on this one, and the reason is because Chris Jericho doesn't need to win over Rollins because Chris Jericho is so established for the last 30 years that just having a match with Jericho on a main event card, you're going to be elevated way over to the stratosphere. Plus,
Right.
not to mention that the promos between the two are going to be out of this world. I mean, you have Le Champion, and then you have the SmackDown Savior going down at each other. And the promos will be epic, and the match, no doubt. It has to be not just that one match. In my opinion, if I'm going to see this matchup, this feud, it has to be at least 3 matches between these guys.
I agree.
That
But
Three
that's
matches,
but
at
no
least three
no
matches.
at least three
You
matches.
gotta
That
have
that would be
for
a
me,
tiebreaker, and then you
excellent.
gotta have a
for
final.
me,
Yeah, excellent rivalry.
yeah,
Excellent
that's
rivalry. Those two
yeah,
can put up.
yeah, that's just for
So
me. But yeah, Seth Rollins goes over on this one. And
so we got
not just like Jada said, not knocking on Jericho because Jericho's amazing, but from a business standpoint, you want to elevate the younger guys and put them over. So that's just me.
no, you're absolutely right. We got three Seth Rollins because Jessica Hoffman picked Seth Rollins. Um, Brian Montalvo doesn't really feel Seth Rollins should be winning, because he think he might hurt Chris Jericho in the ring. Um, he,
Now, are we
he
talking like real hurt or hurt in the
no, like
match?
hurts, like hurt
Mm.
him for real, you
Listen,
know.
Seth Rollins isn't Nia Jax, okay? Seth Rollins has had his little stints a few years ago, but when was the last time you heard anybody in the locker room or on the dirt sheets, okay? And you guys know that I'm very well connected. Nobody's complained in at least 3 or 4 years about Seth Rollins injuring another performer. He's no Nia Jax, okay? Yeah, he may have done some things like a few years ago, but he's adjusted his game. He's adjusted a lot of his in-ring work in order for those things not to happen. So I don't think Seth Rollins will hurt Chris Jericho. On the other hand, I think Chris Jericho might end up hurting Seth Rollins.
That I agree with that
Yeah.
one. I agree with that one.
Well, we actually got the pick. We it was outvoted. Seth Rollins gets the win. So Seth Rollins will be going to the next round.
We need like little draft music or background music for Just to keep the mood.
No, hell yeah. It's like, oh man, like it started off already crazy. Seth Rollins and The Fiend, and you don't even know what next match they're gonna have
And
going into the
the
next
crazy part about
semifinals.
this is these guys have fought before, and they had a pretty good match inside of Hell in a
Hell in a
Cell.
Cell.
So I don't know what to expect depending on whatever type of match they hit.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. Oh, my little one is running around. He said, "We ordered pizza." Yeah, yeah. So, Jaden, tell them the next
The
match.
next match is Bruiser Brody versus Stan Hansen.
Oof, two of the most brutal superstars I've ever
Damn.
seen in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
These two men, like I'm talking about, kicked the shit out of people, and they didn't care. Especially Brody. You remember in WWC in Puerto Rico, with Carlito Colon and the
Oh,
Invader,
Brody. Yeah,
like
Brody's a badass dude.
he didn't care at all. Like it was just damn. Like
Listen,
both.
both of these guys are legendary in their own ways. I mean, you have Stan Hansen, who's had multiple matches in Japan. His most famous match, Stan Hansen versus Vader, where Vader's eye popped out and he sunk it back in.
Oh,
That was
goodness.
just one of the most
I
Oh my
remember
gnarly.
that.
God.
I
Those
remember
are
that.
one of the
I
most gnarly matches I remember, and because of Stan Hansen. And who can forget Brody Lee's knee drop from the top? Not Brody Lee. I mean, you know who I'm talking about. His knee drop from the top rope, dude. Like that is one of the most There was a match in the WWC where he was involved with, and I think it was one of the invaders. I don't know, it was one or two. But anyways, he dropped that knee from the top rope right on the sternum, and El Invader was coughing out blood. Like he wasn't
Yeah,
like just chewing a capsule and just like, oh,
I
I
remember
got bloody
that.
mouth. No, no, no. He is spewing blood.
Yeah,
Turns out that he actually broke his sternum and he had internal bleeding from that knee drop.
yeah. I remember
So,
that. I
so yeah,
remember that.
so that dude, that guy is unbelievable, bro. That
Yeah,
guy.
no,
Sounds
Brody, no,
unbelievable.
Brody was tough.
Bruiser Brody, hands down against Stan Hansen. That's my pick.
All right,
But
he
what's
already
the
chose
match?
his, but let's see
Man,
what the
let's
match is
see.
gonna be. Jaden, spin that wheel. You gotta give it a good spin, man.
Tried to.
Wow, last man standing match.
Oh man, yeah,
Holy
that's a Bruiser Brody match right there, bro.
yeah, that sure is, man.
That's
It's
a Bruiser Brody match all day.
now the question. Now here's my question, which a good point that James Sargent brought up, one of the fans as well. When Bruiser Brody fought Lex Luger, he wasn't really selling with that match. When they were in the cage, they both just stopped selling. Would you see something like that when it comes to him fighting Stan Hansen in this type of match, or would they just go full blown, brutal,
I
bloody,
think, yeah,
beat the
I
shit
think
out
they
of each
both
other?
will go. I think they would probably both go full raging bull on this, dude, because Stan Hansen was another dude that probably did a lot of no sells. So yeah, yeah, I think they would just go full balls to the wall on this one.
Jay, what do you think about this match?
See now, from what I'm hearing, these guys sound insane. They sound like they can go down in the ring, and they sound like some pretty hardcore
Well,
guys.
remember, Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen were a tag team first, and they never fought
So
each
then
other.
they know
So
history.
they,
So
they know
if they
history.
were
They
to
know
fight
each
each
other.
other, they would know each
But
other.
like
They would
adding
go
a last man standing, it's like
that would
it
probably be
changes everything.
brutal,
I
crazy.
think that would be the most brutal match you can ever see.
That
So
sounds sure
Jose
sounds like
already
it.
comes out with Brody. Who was your pick?
I'll pick Brody. Brody sounds like more of an outgoing and insane guy.
Okay, so we pretty much got a clean sweep because we got James Sargent as Brody as well. He takes Brody, and I'm definitely gonna pick Bruiser Brody. Not taking anything away from Stan Hansen because the man had a lariat clothesline that makes JBL's clothesline look like a little puppy. So it was
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
you have to see that clothesline. But Bruiser Brody was. I remember they said in the documentary when he came down the aisle, people moved. That's an art.
Yeah.
So we gotta go with Brody on this one. So Brody is going to the semifinals.
And just reading one of the viewers' comments, Blake Edward Robertson, he says no Stan would make him sell, and I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe Stan would be like, oh, you ain't gonna sell for me, I'm gonna make you sell.
No, no, that's definitely no, and James says also they would fight for real. That shit would be
Yeah,
determined. They
that's what
fight
I'm
for real.
saying.
This fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like Bruiser Brody would be like, no, sell everything. Stan will be like, oh, you gonna sell because I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So before we go into our next match, fans, please feel free to share our content all over Facebook, all over social media. Bring your friends, your cousins, whatever, bro. Anybody that's into wrestling, bring them in and let them have it.
There's a little share button like right down there in the
Yeah,
corner. Yeah, it's like right down there. Hit that and just click groups and share it to all the groups that you want.
exactly, exactly. So, Jaden, the next match, Kurt Angle versus CM Punk.
Mm.
Jose, I'm going to kick this off to you because CM Punk was in your era, as you mentioned to me before. What did you think of CM Punk, especially now going up against this match with Kurt Angle?
Oh, listen, CM Punk's rise to the top was a long one, and I like CM Punk, but he ain't no Kurt Angle.
He's
He ain't
right.
no.
Right.
Well
He is
said.
no Olympic gold medalist. Okay, he didn't win a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Okay, he didn't shoot milk to The Rock and Stone Cold in the middle of Monday Night Raw at the height of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So, and Kurt Angle is one of those guys that got it from the very get. Like as soon as he stepped into that ring, from all the biographies that I've read and watched about Kurt Angle, everybody in the locker room, The Undertaker especially, said that, from day one, that guy was a prodigy. Like, he knows what he was doing. So, not to knock on CM Punk, because, dude, I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I love CM Punk. I think he's one of the greatest technical wrestlers in our generation. But again, he ain't no Kurt Angle.
Okay.
Right.
He is
So
no Kurt Angle.
let's see what the wheel of evolution says. Here we go. Hell in a Cell.
Ooh, damn,
Now,
both.
now the game
Woo!
has changed.
Yeah, that's
Now
a big game changer.
that's a big game changer because neither one are strangers to Hell in a Cell. You know, it's pretty much Kurt Angle was in a Armageddon Hell in a Cell and survived. CM Punk was in a Hell in a Cell with Alberto Del Rio and John Cena and survived. But if I'm gonna go with a solid pick on this one, like you said, CM Punk is no Kurt Angle.
I agree.
CM Punk, not taking anything away from him. CM Punk had the longest reigning WWE championship of anybody, of any superstar. But Kurt Angle fought with the best. Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker, Rikishi, Triple H, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, like the list goes on and on. I'm going with Kurt Angle on this one.
Yeah, I gotta agree 100%. Like you guys said, CM Punk is no Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle was the type of person. Whenever he stepped into the ring, he will give it his all, no matter the size, the strength, whatever. Kurt Angle will give it his all, and if they told Kurt Angle you had to fight in this certain match, Kurt Angle was ready for it. And like you said, neither of them are strangers in the Hell in a Cell, but Kurt Angle has had his fair shares of more than a Hell in a Cell.
Okay, so here's my question to you, Jose. Do you think this rivalry is worth a second match?
It'll be a good build up. It'll be a good. It would really be a good feud if you get both of them to have like a 3 or 4 match feud over like 3 or 4 months. Now, I could see that. That would be nice. Do we need it? We don't need it. we,
Okay, that's a perfect answer. So
we
Kurt
don't need
Angle,
it, but it's a good. But I would that would be nice to see.
well, Kurt Angle is going to the next round.
So here's a bonus for the both of you, being that this match is in Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Who gets thrown off the top of the cell, Punk or Angle?
I'm gonna have to. This is crazy.
Or do they both fall off at the same
Wait,
time?
That's an interesting
This is
scenario.
insane here, but I feel like it wouldn't be off of the cell. I feel like Kurt Angle would suplex CM Punk through the cell into the ring, but then his body would just be completely broken. But if I had to choose who would have fell off the cell, it could have probably been both of them. Both of them could have been on the edge of the cell, throwing blows at each other, and then they
Yeah,
both fall.
Yeah.
I could have seen
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Although I do like your idea of the suplex going through the cell
Yeah.
through the ring. I think like an angle slam through the top and they both fall through, like that would be just
Right,
ridiculous.
right,
Yeah. Yep.
That
Absolutely.
right.
It would have been a hell of a match. I
I
would have
agree.
definitely paid to see it. Both of them in their prime would have been great.
Oh yeah.
So Jaden, we have the Fiend versus Seth Rollins and Bruiser Brody against Kurt Angle. Jose, what do you think of this bracket so far going into the semifinals?
I'm liking it so far. I'm dying to see Seth Rollins versus The Fiend again, but I want to see this version of Seth Rollins, not burn it down Seth Rollins
Right.
against
I
The
agree.
Fiend. So I'm dying to see that whenever we get that. Kurt Angle versus Brody, that is very interesting. Like, that is, like, who would have thought? Like, that's something that you
Yeah.
could probably do in WWE 2K20
Right.
and see how it works out. But wow, I can't wait until next week till we decide and who goes forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. This is picking up. As JR says, business is about to pick up. So let's see where it goes. So Jaden, Seth Rollins from this era against the Fiend. Spin that wheel and decide which
Hard
give it a
spin.
good spin. A tables match. Now,
Ooh,
has
okay.
any of these men been in the match? Yes. I would say mostly Bray Wyatt, since he was in the
Bray Wyatt.
Wyatt family when he had that rivalry with the ECW originals. You think Seth Rollins
wait.
would be ready for a match like this, Jose?
We can't forget. Seth Rollins was a part of the Shield, and he had a TLC match
Well, that's
with
true.
Team
That's
Hell
true.
No and Ryback. And I think he went through a table off of a really high ladder, and he surprisingly was able to stand up on his
Okay.
feet. So I feel like both guys have had a fair shares of tables matches or TLC
Mhm.
because,
Mhm.
TLC matches have stuff to do with tables, and tables matches are just matches alone. So both guys had fair shares of tables. So if you had to choose one, you couldn't really choose because they both had fair shares. So it would
Okay. So,
I agree with that.
Jose, do you think that Seth Rollins will be able to keep up with the Fiend in this type of match?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Guys, let's not forget that Seth Rollins faced the Fiend last year in Hell in a Cell. That's
I
where
remember that.
and that's where he dropped his title, or I think it was just a few after. No, it wasn't. That was in Saudi Arabia where he dropped his title. But anyways, he faced the Fiend at Hell in a Cell, and he got a taste of what it's like to have that type of match. So going having a tables match is just a toned down version of the Hell in a Cell match. Uh, this one, oh man, that's a hard pick for me. That's a very hard pick for me
It's
because
tough
wait,
because
to add on
hold on, let me just say this. So when you come in, it's definitely a hard pick because if you're mentioning the Seth Rollins of today, how aggressive he is and how determined he is, with the Fiend that is pretty much almost unstoppable. What are you gonna do? Like, how the hell can you even choose something like this?
right.
Like,
And to add on to what Jose was saying, I feel like in that match, that Hell in a Cell match, Seth Rollins was showing his ruthless side because he was beating the
hmm
Fiend. So yeah,
hmm
like you said, he got a taste of what a type of match that would have been like. So if Seth Rollins was to go in a tables match, Seth Rollins wouldn't hold back. Seth Rollins would have to bring it all force, especially since the Fiend is one of those type of guys that feeds off of pain. The more pain he feels, the stronger he gets, the crazier he gets. The Fiend is just one of those type of guys.
no, you're
So
absolutely right.
that's
That
just a
he
hard
he
pick right
he,
there.
I
he loves
think
to.
this version of Seth Rollins is more prepared for the Fiend.
I agree.
He's leveled up. He definitely leveled
Big time.
up. But I don't think even this version of leveling up of Seth Rollins is enough to beat Bray Wyatt.
I agree. I
Okay,
agree. No
so
matter the fact Seth Rollins is my favorite, I still agree because the Fiend is one of those type of people.
okay, so that means we also had a few picks in the fans. The fans, Christopher Brown picked the Fiend. Also, the James Sargent got the Fiend. So that's a clean slate of the Fiend because I also picked the Fiend. not taking anything away from Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is an excellent superstar, but the Fiend is the Fiend. You can't not take it away from him. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't. Like
He's the
it's
hottest. He's. I was doing a report today on the Undertaker's 30th anniversary, and the Undertaker had an interview. I think it was with the New York Post that he was talking about the Fiend, and that the Fiend is really the hottest thing right now going on in WWE, and that the cool thing about the Fiend is that they're letting Bray Wyatt have his creative moment with the Fiend, and he pretty much has control of what he's doing with his character right now.
yeah.
Um, and that just says a lot. So, in the end run, if you're building the next Undertaker, if you're building that next big character for the next 30 years, it's Bray Wyatt.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. And we got a lot of people going with the Fiend too. Brian says he's going with the Fiend, so there you have it. The Fiend is going to the finals in this bracket. Here we are. So, the final match of the semifinals, Jaden, Bruiser Brody against Kurt Angle. Let's see what the Wheel of Evolution tell us today. Another Hell in a Cell.
I vote to respin. I vote to respin.
Okay.
I vote to respin. We already had that, so
All right, so let's do it again. Here we go. Go ahead, Jay. Your turn. We had that at 2. It was a strap match, so let's try it one more time.
all right.
Third time's the charm. An Iron Man match.
Ah, shit.
Wow.
Woo!
That's a game changer here because
You didn't specify if it was 30-minute or 60-minute.
well, let's us three, the panel, vote on how long you would like that Iron Man match to be. Jaden.
I say 60 minutes. 60 minutes. That would be a tiring match, but I would like to see them as that because you see two guys tired going against each other, then that's just crazy because you don't know what to expect from that.
I would say 30.
I'm gonna go 60, dude. I mean,
Okay,
the first,
so majority rules.
the first
60.
Iron Man, the first Iron Man match I watched was it Bret Hart, that 60-minute Iron Man match he had with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, that was the first Iron Man match I ever watched. So I thought every Iron Man match was 60 minutes until NXT started doing 30-minute ones.
Well, listen, 60 minutes Iron Man match, Bruiser Brody against Kurt Angle. How would this even go? Like, would they be able to that? Well, Kurt Angle had an Iron Man match against Brock Lesnar at one point, so he was able to deal with it. Bruiser Brody, maybe. Actually, he did wrestle one time, a 1-hour match with Ric Flair. I believe it was back then in the 1984, I believe. So I don't know. It's tough to call, man.
For me, I get it. For you, it's tough to call, but for me, it's not tough to call because from what I've heard about Bruiser Brody, he's more of a violent type guy, the person that likes blood, like steel chairs, tables, things like that. Kurt Angle is an Olympic gold medalist. He's built for long things like that. If he needs to do a long run, something like that, Kurt Angle is built for it. So if any person will have at least the advantage, it'll be Kurt Angle.
Okay, Jose, what is your outtake on this 60-minute Iron Man match? Which Brian Montalvo mentioned a true Iron Man match is 60 minutes. So you guys were right. I got outvoted, which you guys are absolutely correct. So Brian says he gives it to Kurt Angle. So we got Kurt Angle.
Yes, absolutely. Kurt Angle, dude. Kurt Angle, hands down. Brody, just like his name, he's a bruiser. So he can go, he'll beat you up, but he probably get gassed out after 20 minutes.
Well, Christopher Brown just mentioned he'd be lucky to get past 25 minutes in a match like that. So
yeah, so Kurt Angle's got the conditioning. Again, I don't have to state the obvious. Kurt Angle won the gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Okay, Do you know any other athletes that have won a gold medal at the Olympics with a broken neck?
Well, this is why we have Jose. You know, the
But
straight
see,
up.
he has a point.
He has a point. No, but you're absolutely right. When it comes to a conditioning match, like I said, he's taking on the best. Kurt Angle has taken on the best. You know, he at one point he he had fought that Iron Man match with Brock Lesnar. It wasn't the best Iron Man match, but he did it. You know, and then having a certain submission match, the man can do it all. So, yes, I'm gonna go with Kurt Angle, and yes, Kurt Angle is making it to the finals.
So Kurt Angle
Mm.
made it to the
Ooh. So
finals.
that's the semifinal. Is that the final for that bracket, and then the winner of that faces the final the winner of the other bracket?
Yep,
Got it.
that's how it's gonna
So
go.
Angle
So
versus the Fiend.
Angle, Kurt Angle versus the Fiend. This is the final spin of the night. Jaden, make it count.
All right, let's do this.
I think we picked that already.
We did.
So let's do it again. Let's get this going. Wow.
And
Inferno match.
Wow.
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 Okay.
I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. I already see Jose. He's ready. He's ready to give us what's on his mind right now.
If it almost feels like this whole tournament was made for the Fiend, okay? This entire tournament, the whole thing has been laid out, has been set up for the Fiend from the get. I mean, now you finalized this first bracket A with an Inferno match between Kurt Angle and the Fiend. How can you not give it to the Fiend?
Oh man, it's the wheel.
Yes,
it's the wheel of evolution. It's unpredictable.
You don't have a choice but to give it to the Fiend.
But okay, so we got Christopher Brown says the Fiend without question.
Exactly.
So let's see what everybody else said. Because listen, like you said, Kurt Angle won with a broken freaking neck, but can he handle an Inferno match? Like, let's be realistic here.
Against the Fiend?
Against the Fiend.
Against the Fiend.
That's what I'm saying. You obviously not. So I'm definitely going with the Fiend on this one. Like,
and look, the funny thing is, like I said, like I keep telling you, the Fiend feeds off of pain. The more pain Kurt Angle tries to inflict onto the Fiend, it's not gonna do anything. The Fiend is gonna get right back up.
Okay, so here's a question for you.
And they're trapped in the ring.
And I want you to answer this too.
Okay.
Now that all the participants have been eliminated from the Fiend and Kurt Angle, do you see any shenanigans happening in that final match? Do you see anybody interfering? Maybe trying to cause Kurt Angle, maybe trying to cause Bray Wyatt the match? How do you see that going?
It depends on the storyline. I mean, we haven't even developed this storyline. We're just putting, wrestlers together. But it just all depends on the storyline. If we're going to go and we're going to develop a storyline, I'm going to say that Alexa Bliss may cause some tiny shenanigans, more psychological shenanigans than anything, in order for not only Bray Wyatt to get a win, but to also really break Kurt Angle psychologically. Remember, Kurt Angle was a former addict. Kurt Angle, he had injury and drug problems. He's had a rough personal life over the last 15 years. Now that he made his comeback to WWE, he's been doing much better. But let's not forget that Kurt Angle has his demons too, and Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss can exploit those demons in that match, and bring probably some shenanigans to this match. That would be probably the best way to storyline wise unfold it.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. Like, how would that storyline rivalry begin? You just mentioned it, about all the personal stuff. And, would it take Kurt Angle to the next level of brutality, or would it not?
But that's like I told you. It's like I told you. The Fiend is one for mind games. The Fiend is the type of person that plays with your head and tells you things about your past or things that you've seen that you wouldn't have wanted to see. Okay. That's how the Fiend operates.
Okay. So, for this match, you guys got the Fiend completed.
I got the Fiend completed.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, we got another one, Christopher Brown, the Fiend. So, yes, the Fiend has won bracket A. He will be going into the next round, which I am surprised with all this talent. Like, oh my.
The matches that Fiend had though.
No, he had some crazy matches. Like, from what was it? Strap match with
Strap
him and
match.
Sting.
Then he had I think it was I forgot what the other.
I
I think
think
it was like an extreme rules or
no
something.
tables match. It was a tables match with Seth
Thank
Rollins.
God. Dude, if this tournament was real, like this would probably take a few months to do.
Of course, of
That's
course,
true.
absolutely,
Like if this was a real
absolutely,
tournament, like this would at least
absolutely.
take 6 months to get through the tournament because like we the first opening match of this tournament is a Hell in a Cell Inferno match, no disqualifications, 60-minute Iron Man, and like what the hell? This is gonna take him 3 months just to recover from that first match.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
Right.
So, Jay,
Right.
Jose, we finished bracket A. The Fiend is going into the finals in this interpromotional tournament. Next week we have bracket B. 8 of the top superstars in this profession. Period. You got Roman Reigns against Umaga, Hulk Hogan against John Cena.
Doctor's fucking Johnson.
Okay, Ravishing Rick Rude against Mr. Perfect, and Ric Flair against Daniel Bryan. Jose, what are you thinking about this bracket for next week?
I'm thinking over here, and I'm like, why isn't Kenny Omega up in there? Like, why isn't like there's so many other stars out there. Like, why isn't The Rock on there? Why isn't Austin on there?
That's true.
Hey,
That's true.
that's what I'm saying.
But I didn't make the
That's what I'm saying.
bracket. I didn't make the
It
bracket.
was randomly picked that we had so many superstars, and we put all these picks in one hat, and all of them came out at random. All these
Gotcha.
superstars, and I'm like, damn. And then I started seeing, and then when we talked about the scenario at first with the matches, we're like, wait a minute, this is not going to work. And then finally it made sense. But I'm actually digging bracket B more than A.
Me
I don't know
too.
why. Like for some reason, like the endless rivalries you can turn into with those matches. Like what type of match are they even gonna have? Is what like today. This was surprising. Every match we just had, like
Right.
an Iron Man match between Brody and Kurt Angle. I don't think that would ever happen. And then an Inferno match with Kurt Angle and the Fiend. Like
That wouldn't.
I could just imagine a match like that in the Attitude Era.
Right. Oh yeah. I feel like all of these matches would have happened in the Attitude Era. They wouldn't have allowed it in the Attitude Era. Like,
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, if we were to have a lot of these matches, most of these matches would probably be more bloody at the fact, like I said, it's not the PG era, and they still had blood at the time of the Attitude Era.
No, you're absolutely right. So, well, before we go, we want to ask you fellas a question, Jose, you as well. I'm sure you guys have heard that two things. Selena Vega has been released by the WWE. I guess it was something on her social media that she had posted, and we're not sure. This is a speculation that management probably wasn't happy with it or something, but it did cost her job. We wish her the best of luck.
Again, I don't know exactly if that's what happened, but all I know is that she put a tweet up. She said, "I support unionization," and then 10 minutes after that, they announced, boom, she's no longer with the company. So I'm not sure if one and one has to do with another. I'm just connecting the dots. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with Aleister Black now. Are they going to squash? Are they going to just, get him out too, or are they going to push him?
Yeah, that's the question. So and then
because they were talking about a storyline with both of them together, but that's out the door now.
Yes, exactly, and I remember that. I remember them talking about that. So it sucks that it has to come to that. It sucks. But and also next week, Survivor Series, we will be on Jose's show. Hopefully, I can probably win that prediction championship finally, since I got cheated out of it. So
listen, Rico beat you fair and square, bro.
He beat me fair and square. We do a tie, but the title goes. If it's a tie, it goes back to the champion. So
REG beat you fair and square, bro.
Well, I'm gonna get that title. Thank you, thank you. This is
At least someone does.
see this guy, see this guy. So the Undertaker, last Survivor Series. How do you take to that? You know, as fans, us growing up.
I'm excited, dude. I'm excited because it's gonna be his final farewell. We're gonna get to see the BSK crew together again, so we get to see the Godfather. We get to see Savio Vega, my boy. I love Savio. He's a friend of our show,
Yeah.
and we've interviewed him plenty of times. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see all those guys. Kane's gonna be back for the farewell too. So it's shaping. They're promoting the hell out of it. They're just nonstop. Like literally this week, I've done 4 reports on the Undertaker's 30 year farewell. So I'm like, and it's not even done yet. Like we still have 1 more week. So I'm sure I'm gonna get more shit that I gotta talk about the Undertaker. However, I am looking forward to it, dude. I'm looking forward to seeing good old Theo Savio Vega up on there. Get to see the whole BSK crew, man. Rikishi's gonna be back.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
I'm looking forward to it too. And like I feel like this is the proper way they need to send him off, because at first they tried sending him off with a losing streak when he lost to Brock Lesnar.
Listen, I don't care what anybody says. That losing streak should have never.
No, he's still 20. He's
I'm
still
sorry.
20 and 0. He's still on a.
I know you got to go in for the business, and I truly completely understand that. But to me, I don't. think we
But
should-
that from what I heard, Undertaker.
as a fan, but I know from a business standpoint why he did it.
As a fan, but from what I heard, Undertaker wanted to end the streak.
Yeah, that's
from
what I
heard,
said. As Undertaker from a business standpoint understood it.
Right, exactly. But I feel like this is the proper way to send Undertaker off, and I
Okay.
feel like they're doing it right.
Cool. So, Jaden, our time is up. Jose G, it has been a pleasure as always having you on the show. Always controversial, always straightforward. I see you got the beard going there now. No crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. No, it's No Shave November now, so I'm working on my beard, trying to grow it back in, dude.
Yeah. So it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Next week, part 2. We don't know what the hell the Wheel of Evolution is going to bring out there. I could just imagine the thoughts coming in your head with these, making this storyline with these next matches in Bracket A. So, Thank you for joining us, sir. Evolution of Pro Wrestling fans. Thank you for joining us. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, please subscribe to my fellow colleague here of Weekends of Wrestling, Jose G, with his boy Rico. I'll let you give him the introduction, Jose, your colleague.
R.E.G. Rico El Glorioso.
There you go. And they are Weekends of Wrestling on Facebook as well. Like, share their page, and comment. Also follow them on social media and subscribe to their YouTube channel. From all of us here, fans, from myself, Louis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling,
And Jay, the Whiz Kid of Pro Wrestling.
and from Jose of Weekends of Wrestling, have a good night, fans.